I've been trading prop firms for years now, and I've generated over 6 figures in payouts using this specific model that still works in 2026. And if you follow me through this video, I'm going to take you through the exact approach that I use to pass prop firm challenges and get consistent payouts. Before we actually jump on the charts or anything like that, I want to touch base on the right mindset that you need to actually be able to exploit these prop firms. Let's break this down real quick because most people get this wrong. Prop firms are designed to beat you. They give you certain risk parameters that you have to follow to pass the accounts and get payouts. The first hurdle that you have to accomplish is the evaluation stage. You basically have to reach a profit target to pass that account without hitting the max drawdown limit. And then you move on to the funded stage, and this is where you can actually earn money from these accounts. So that's a brief overview of how prop firms work. However, let's get into what the 90% of traders get wrong. Prop firms are designed to beat you. They literally hire people that specialize in psychology and emotional trading to actually design these accounts to beat you. They put rules in place to make you trade emotionally, right? So all the consistency rules, the winning days, the profit targets, they are all there to make you trade emotionally. So instead of trading your strategy that you know, you trade emotionally and you just blow the funded accounts. And look, at the end of the day, you have to treat these prop firms like the ROI game, so return on investment. So the amount of money that you put into prop firms, you have to take out more, and that means you are profitable. So basically, if you spend $500 on eval accounts, it just means that you have to make more than $500 in payouts to be profitable. And at the start, I blew so much money on evaluation accounts. It was stupid, but that is actually the game. And to be honest, it was a learning curve. And the first payouts that you get actually wipe away all those losses in general. So when I go prop firm hunting, these are the exact rules that I make sure the accounts do have or don't have. Alrighty, so when you're selecting prop firm accounts, there is multiple different rules that I like to, see if the prop firm is offering or they don't have on certain accounts. Now, this is Lucid Trading. This is, in my opinion, the best prop firm at the time of this recording. So let's run through these 3 different types of accounts, okay? So we have the Lucid Pro account. So these are just the evals. So for the 25K, it's $94. This is all USD. $129 for the 50K, $200 for the 100K, and $260 for the 150. And to be honest, the only trading accounts that you really want is the 50Ks. I have just found that this is the best value for money. I don't suggest going to the 100Ks. Maybe the only reason why you would is because you get a little bit more of a loss limit, okay? So let's go through these Lucid Pros, okay? So we'll go through the 50Ks on each example because this is probably what I suggest, okay? So if you use a coupon at the checkout, I'm just going to plug mine. It's code James. It gets you a percentage off of the account and makes it this price. If not, it's going to be $185. So just make sure you use code James and you get the percentage off. Now, these reset fees are $120. So it's $9.50 cheaper than just buying another account. So make sure you don't buy more accounts. You just reset them if you do fail an evaluation challenge. So very standard for this account. It's a 3K profit target for the 50K. So if you make $53,000, you will be passing that account. And if you lose $2,000, which is the max loss limit, you lose that account, right? So you simply just buy another evaluation, reset it, and go again. This is how prop firms make their money, but that is okay if you're a profitable day trader. People losing money is going to pay you. End of day trailing drawdown, right? So what this means is, obviously, the sessions are Asia, London, New York, and then there's end of day, and then it's a new day and it just keeps going around in circles, right? The cycle of trading, right? Very standard. You make $1,500 on that first trade, so you have $51,500 in that account. Now, if you take more trades, obviously that's going to adjust, right? But the max loss limit of $2,000 doesn't trail. Okay, it just stays at $2,000 at the end of the day. Okay, when let's say you left that account with $51,500 in it, right? The trailing drawdown will go to $500, right? So if you lose $2,000 still, but get that account down to, let's say, $49,500, you blow the account. It trails to $50,000 and stops. That's how it works. Now, there's some accounts in the industry that are trailing drawdowns. So let's say or intraday trailing drawdown, which means when you're taking that trade, let's say you're up 51,000, so $1,000 up in a trade, and it comes back down to break even, right? Stops you out at break even. You were up $1,000 in that trade. That means your drawdown is now 49,000. It's trailed up $1,000 intra trade. Okay, so end of day is way better, right? So something to look out for. This is just on the eval anyway. Now, the daily loss limit of $1,200 on evals is kind of annoying. I don't like that at all, because on evals I just trade them pretty aggressively. However, you know, this is a good thing for newbies because it keeps you in the game. So if you lose $1,200 on the day, it locks you out. You can't trade for the next day, and you have $800 left to trade with. So max size 4 minis or the micros. So 40 micros, 4 minis, same thing. This is the max size you can trade with, which is pretty good. I rather 5, however, 4 is plenty in New York session. So big thing to look out for is activation fees. These are free, so you don't need to pay an activation fee. That is where prop firms get you. So they have a really cheap price like Apex, like $25 for an account. But then when you pass the account, you got to pay like $150 to activate it. So that's where they get you. You can pass this in as little as 1 day. So this means there's no consistency rule on the eval. You can pass this. You can make 53,000 in one trade in 1 day, pass the account in 1 day, which is good. So we're going to the funded rules. Now everything's pretty standard in here, but the one thing that stands out to me, okay, is the daily loss limit, okay? So 60% of end of day balance, okay? So if you lose, so let's say you make 51,000, okay? 60% of that peak end of day balance is your now daily loss limit, so you can't lose that. Very standard. Now, probably the number one thing on here is 40% consistency rule, which is not too bad, but I'd rather 50% that Apex have. If I'm trading consistency, 40% is on the lower side, but that's okay. So make sure you check and know what accounts you're using. So 40%, this means basically if you are, let's say you want to get to $53,000 to get a payout, this means your biggest day can't be more than 40% of that balance. So let's just put this in a really easy spec, 50% consistency rule, right? And let's say my payout is 53,000. Your biggest day can't be more than $1,500 because that's 50% of 3,000. So you can make $1,500, then the next day make $1,500. You can get a payout if the rules combine that. That's how the consistency means. So if you make $1,750 with a 50% consistency rule, you just basically got to make a little bit more. So you might need to make 53,600. Max size 4 minis. There's no scaling plan on this, so it means you can just go straight in with the 4 minis. Now, days for payout, 3 days, and you get a payout 5 days to live. And yeah, so these are pretty cool accounts. However, these next ones are the ones I recommend. So the Flex Plan 50K are my favorite accounts. Now, the reason why is the consistency rule on the eval doesn't matter. I get $1,500 and $1,500 the next day and I pass the account. It doesn't really matter because the consistency rule doesn't exist when you're on the funded account, right? So there's no consistency rule. There's no daily loss limit. These accounts are probably the freest out of them all. You just need 5 winning days of $150 and you get your payout. Very simple. And obviously you can get to live on this. There's no consistency, no daily loss limit. These ones are really good. There is a scaling plan, but 2 minis is enough. You don't need to be trading with more than 2 minis, in my opinion. So that's the Flex Plan. Now, there are direct to funded. So this is good if you are a really profitable trader with a lot of cash behind you and you just don't want to worry about being on an eval at all. I don't recommend it for any newbies to go on this. I've done it in the past. And the reason why these suck is because they have a consistency rule of 20%. So they are making you trade very small amounts. So let's say the profit target is 53,000. 20% means you can make 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, or something like that. You just don't want to do it. So I would personally skip these directs. Don't get trapped. This is how they make the money. I'd be sticking to the 50K flex plan for my go-to account, and make sure you use code James as well. That's going to get you the highest percentage off for these accounts. Alright guys, we've gone through the accounts that you should pick. Okay, now you've got your account. What are the risk guidelines involved with trading evals and fundeds? Okay, so basically when you are on that eval account, if you are experienced, you can basically use the maximum amount of contracts. And let's say on a 50K account, so 50K account, and with a 50% consistency, right? So we're trading the flex plan, okay? You want to get $1,500 over 2 days. So 2 days, okay? So basically you're going to be splitting that between the 2 days, passing the account within 2 to 3 days. That's essentially what you want to do. Now, if you are a beginner and you don't want to waste as much money, because you can blow some accounts doing this because you're risking very heavily, you can basically just stick to the same risk guidelines as the funded account. So let's get into that. So my guidelines and what I personally do on some accounts, especially when I'm copy trading multiple accounts, is I risk about 1% per trade. Okay, so on a 50K account, this is all on a 50K. All right, make sure you know this. I risk 1%, which is $500 on that 50K account. All right, so if I lose 4 trades, I lose that account. But with my model, it's a very high win rate model. I have about a 76-77% win rate, meaning 77% of the time I'm going to win. That's a pretty high win rate. And if I stick to my rules and don't do any bullshit, then I won't lose 4 trades in a row. And if I do, I'm like, it's very unlucky. So if you're not comfortable with that, you're a newer trader, just risk the 0.5%, which is $250. Then you can take 8 trades to blow that account, which it just won't happen if you stick to your rules. All right. So I normally stick to the guideline of 1 to 2 trades per day. Okay. So that's the absolute maximum. Do not take 3-4 trades, because at that time you're just trading emotionally and it's just not going to end well. Now, the best part about this rule right here is it takes the emotion and the willingness to not follow your rules out of play. So what you want to do is set a 2% max loss on your accounts. So let's say you lose $1,000 on that day, right? You lost 2 trades. So you lost 2 trades and you lose $1,000. Have an automatic lockout process, so it locks you out of your account. You can't lose any more, and you can come back the next day. I don't know how many times, and I can't stress this enough, how many times I've been trading and the max, like I hit my 2 trades, I lose my $1,000. I'm really pissed off, potentially could trade more. It locks me out. I'm like, whatever. I come back the next day, I win my trades. I'm like, thank God. It saved my account so many times. So please set this automatically to lock you out. You can do it in TradeOvate, you can do it in TopStep X, you can do it in TradeC. Now, most of your days are going to be 1 trade, right? Normally, I just take 1 loss or I take 1 win and I'm off. Never take a win and keep trading unless the market conditions are so obvious you have to. But mostly, most of you guys just take 1 trade, 1 loss, 1 break even, 1 win, and hop off for the day. So let's hop onto the charts. I'm going to show you how to use risk and actually enter a trade. Okay, so we're on TradingView right now. I'm going to show you how you can manage your risk. So basically, let's say we want to get in on this 1-minute inversion long right here. Okay, so obviously when you're trading, you want to go radio. I want to get on this trade. You put your tool on here. Okay, you can put your target. This is simple 1-to-1. Now right click on here, go settings. Okay, so over here, you're trading a 50K account, put 50,000 in. Lot size, just keep that 1, and then go risk 500, right? I think by default it's percentage, just change this to USD, and you can change this, right? 750, 500, whatever. So if you simply want to trade 2% risk on an eval, you can change this to 1,000, right? So keep this at 1, go okay. Now, if we get the 1-minute inversion, which obviously we do because I know what plays out in this trade. This is just an example. Okay, so we're like, radio, we want to get in on this trade. All you got to do is create limit order and then see how it automatically puts 12, right? Limit order, 12. You click buy. Now, if you go to your take profit and your stop loss down here, you can see it's at 480. It's never going to be perfectly $500. It's going to put this as close as possible, right? So this automatically does it, and then we can run through this trade. And it makes sure you're always on with your risk. So that's the most simplest way to do this. If you're trading on Tradeovate or something like that, you can use a different website, which I will show you right now. So this is the website I use if I'm not using that tool on TradingView. So it's futurecontractcalculator.com. Come in here, put 50,000, right? If you're trading micro, which I suggest you do because you can just manage your risk a lot more. You can take partials, do whatever, right? It's exactly the same as minis, but you just get a little bit more control, right? You can put your stop loss in here. So if we go back to that trade in TradingView, your stop loss was 20, put 20. And then you can put 1% risk, so $500, and see 12, exactly the same. And then you can enter your trade with 12 micros. Very simple way of not getting lost in your risk management. All right, guys, so the last part of this is just to go over basically Trade Copier and how it works and what the whole point of trading all these prop firm accounts is, right? So when you start, you're only going to be trading like, let's say 5 accounts. But then you can start adding more leverage, right? So me personally, I trade 15 to 20 accounts. Currently only trading 10, okay? But that's why I don't have Trade Copy at the moment, because I don't need it, because I'm using Tradeovate's in-house copy trading system. However, if you're trading Top Step, My Funded Futures, Apex, Lucid all at once, you can download this software called Trade Copier. Now, this is obviously a payment plan for this, of course, because nothing's free. So I just got the Pro desktop and I paid for that monthly. Now it's very cool. That looks a little bit hectic there, but this is a good example right here. So you can basically just put all your accounts in here. You can use one leader account and you can copy trade across all your accounts in one trade. Okay. Which is really cool because you can trade like 5, 10, 15, 20 accounts and really scale. So that's it, guys. Now you understand how to trade prop firms in 2026 the correct way. So now you have the correct mindset, you know what accounts to choose, and you know the risk guidelines that you need to trade these accounts. You are ready to go. And look, you guys got to remember, traders like myself just take small base hits. We turn up every day and we work on consistency. You can't just come into the prop firm space and try and make a bunch of money quickly, because it doesn't work that way. And look, if you want to dive deeper into the strategy that I use and learn it to take consistent payouts month after month, then just click the link in the description and you can learn it there. I personally have helped many traders get to their first 10K month, just like Jake and just like Dan. Both lost in their trading and not knowing what direction to go in. So if you're ready to take that next step in your trading, the link is in the bio. And just like always, thank you for watching and have a really good rest of your day.